Yo, what's going on, everybody? Keep them almost in full color, and today we're doing our Soul Hackers 2 review. Now, you may have seen me playing this on the channel, and with all these games are getting ready to come out between Star Ocean, Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty, God of War, I'll probably start streaming to the channel a little bit more when these games first come out, as it's really difficult to get a review out like that quickly without trying to kill myself. So definitely probably looking at doing that method, just giving you some gameplay that way and then coming back with a review later. But without further ado, this is dedicated to Soul Hackers 2. A lot of people ask, do I need to play Soul Hackers 1? Well, the first one came out in like 97 or something. No, you don't need to play it, all right? This comes to us straight from the Atlas camp. You know them from the Persona games, Shin Megami Tensei's and Catherine. And first and foremost with this game, I want to say that it is a very good JRPG. Very good. Like I almost would say that this reminds me of JRPGs of old, which was great for me personally. A lot of JRPGs right now are trying to mix things up. They're trying to find a way to make JRPGs popular in the West, and some of them are doing too much. This one, I feel like it doesn't do too much, but it does enough to be just a really good JRPG experience. It's nothing that's gonna blow you out of the stratosphere, but it's gonna be a good experience for you, and here's why. So first and foremost, I want to go with the sound. Atlas, I'm starting with sound because Atlas, we know, is really good at making video game soundtracks. Their track record with that is dope. Like if you go on Spotify right now, there are playlists made just based off of Atlas's video game soundtracks. We know that, and they do the same thing here coming back. So it's as expected, but even as expected, it's dope when you get kind of good music, good battle game music. It just really works out for you in terms of feeling in the moment and them using the music to tie moments together. Really dope. But one thing I really wanted to highlight with the sound is I started with it on the Japanese audio, which is stellar as always, but I have noticed in the past, I would say 2.5 years, that JRPGs have really invested into getting really good voice actors, or voice actors have stepped up. Something has occurred, but English in these JRPGs sounds really good. It doesn't sound as cringe anymore, which is really dope. So personally, if you would prefer to play with it on English, but you know sometimes it sounds cringy, this one is really good. I promise you, this English voice acting group did a really good job with this, and I'm very happy. After I turned it from the Japanese audio to English, I never changed it back. So for me, that's a super plus for me. I know some people don't care about that type of thing, but for me, that is A1. From there, we'll go into the visuals. Visually, it has its own appeal. If you play the Persona games, the Shin Megami Tensei's, they're not how would I say, they're not your God of Wars or your Detroit Become Humans. They're not ultimate eye candy, but they have their own charm. And since these games very much so, I would say Persona and Catherine and Shin Megami Tensei do not come off as anime to me, like you're playing an anime. But this Soul Hackers 2 definitely to me feels like you're playing an anime. Like it's really weird. Although the anime elements exist in Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, I never felt like I was playing an anime. Soul Hackers 2, you really feel like you were playing an anime, not just in the visual aesthetic, but also in the story, which I'll get to that right now. The story is really funny. Coming from Atelier Ryza, where I was talking about how the game is super lighthearted, no one is taking anything seriously. It's about to be like something's about to blow up, and literally no one is taking it seriously. They're busy making jokes, so the gravity of the situation never finds its way to you. This is the complete opposite. The tone is very serious throughout. Also, I really wouldn't recommend this for kids, by the way. A lot of killing going on, but as with the name Soul Hacker. But I would definitely say that this story has a serious tone throughout. It does not change up. There are some jokes sprinkled in, there's some lighthearted moments sprinkled in, but for the most part, this is a serious game with a serious tone. And the story, definitely, the world is ending, so you know that's serious enough. The world's about to end, so they kind of lay it out for you at the onset that this is more of a serious game, and then they kind of give you the adult. I would say this game is meant for kids, really, the adult tropes and things of that nature. And one big thing about the story, a lot of JRPGs, well, a lot of games in general do try to have a central point a central focus, and the central focus that I got from it, it can be different from everybody, is dealing with personal trauma and how do you overcome that trauma, but also the differences between people and how they overcome said traumas differently. You and I can go through the same exact thing, and we're both going to process that differently. So the game does explore that. On top of the world is ending, you know, like it does explore that. So I mean, although the main game element is the world's about to end, dealing with traumas within oneself and still moving on, still moving forward with life is kind of the thing that's really explored and hammered home here. Really good. It doesn't come off as preachy or anything like that. It just comes off as, you know, oh, okay, like, you know, maybe you'll resonate with some of the characters, maybe you won't, but maybe in seeing some of these characters interact, you'll understand, like, okay, we're all just people at the end of the day. You know, we go through things differently. Now to the gameplay. The gameplay, if you've played Persona or the Shin Megami Tensei games, you're going to feel right at home with a lot of these elements. If you have not, this game allows you to use familiar, so you capture a familiar and you utilize that familiar in battle. The big loop for this is learning an enemy's affinity. So if you learn that your enemy is strong against bullets, well, you're not going to use bullets to fight them. You're going to use whatever it is that they're weak to. And so that's a big gameplay loop for this game. And also getting stronger demons. You also can get stronger demons through fusing demons. All right, so the demons that you capture, you can fuse them together and you can make stronger demons. And that is pretty much the big loop. Now, for those who have played JRPGs, this game doesn't function like most JRPGs in terms of treasures. Like a lot of games, you'll see a treasure chest or things of that nature. When you go into dungeons, you'll send your demons out and they'll actually do the looting for you. So you just need to go find your demon wherever they're at on the field, talk to them, and they'll normally either give you something, whether it be money, valuable material, or they will scout out a demon for you to join your party. Sometimes they scout out demons that are too high of a level to join you, and they won't join you because they're like, yo, you weak, you not ready for me to be on your team. But don't worry, you can just go back to that dungeon once you get that higher level, and then you can scout that demon. Moving on for that, I really feel like when I said earlier, this is a classic JRPG, money and level grinding. Like, it's literally a big thing in this game. Getting your level up so you can get those stronger demons, getting money to buy items. It's been a long time since I played a JRPG and money was hyper necessary, should I say. There really isn't a crafting system here, so you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna use your money to buy those equipment pieces, to buy the upgrades for what's known as your comp, which is your gun, your sword. One of the characters uses size, so whatever your item is, you can go and upgrade that item further, and money and materials are hyper necessary for that. So it was really cool that money was a thing, because I've played so many JRPGs where money is cast aside. It's more about crafting, it's more about you know, leveling something through battle. Very, very seldom lately has it been about the money itself. So really, really dope that I saw money come back, and you know, I was like, okay, well, let me go grind for some money. If you want to listen to an album or something like that and just level grind, I feel like these type of games are perfect for that. And you know, luckily for me, a few albums came out, so I was able to go listen to some albums. It was dope. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. To cap off, I really feel like Soul Hackers 2 is a great, or excuse me, it's not a great it's a really good JRPG with some blemishes. I know a lot of people love their open world. This one is more fast travel based. You really don't have an open world per se. You kind of more so fast travel. And even still, Persona had the same kind of setup, right? Yet felt much different. It's super weird. I guess Persona felt more alive. Like every environment that you went to felt more alive. When you went to Shinjuku, when you went to Hawaii, when you went to all these places in Persona, the areas felt like they were popping. Here, the areas don't really feel like they're popping. You just fast travel to one, and then you go to wherever you need to go to and fast travel back out. You go to a dungeon, move on. So I do feel like there was a miss with the environments themselves, and they don't feel as alive as one would necessarily want. The other big gripe is that when you go into one of the main big dungeons, it's a big dungeon, but yet it splits off into 3 parts. And these 3 parts are 3 souls. And when you go into them, because we're seen as like kind of like a computer, a flesh computer essentially, all of our souls essentially have the same matrix layout, but just maybe different paths to them. One can argue that that's, an arguable thing, that on some level we all are the same and we all are kind of like these basically walking human computers. We can calculate, we can do things. You could argue that our souls probably are about the same looking when you really went into them. However, on the other hand, I mean, people go through different things, and that's one of the central things about this game is that, you go through something and that changes you. So your soul arguably should look different than mine. Like, you shouldn't be able to go into my soul and then we go into your soul and it looks the exact same, but just, different winding paths. Again, this is an argument. This is like, very, very semantics here, but some people feel that way, and I understand how one could feel either way. For me personally, it's cool either way. I guess I would prefer, if you had to ask me, I would prefer that each soul had a different dungeon layout. I get why they kept them all the same in terms of aesthetic and the way that they look, but I definitely would recommend anyone to get this if you're interested in a JRPG. This is a really good one. It's more on the simpler side, but that makes it kind of more beautiful. You get to kind of more so enjoy the game. There aren't so many complex gameplay mechanics that you're really stressing out about. You're just kind of literally playing the game, making money, recruiting demons, fusing those demons to make them stronger. I really highly encourage like anyone who's interested in a JRPG. I think this will be a great entry level JRPG for anybody. If you play the Persona games, Shin Megami Tensei games, I'm sure you already got this, but if you played those, you're gonna like this one. You're probably not gonna like it as much as Persona 5 or Shin Megami Tensei 4, but I really do think it's worth playing. So I enjoyed it thoroughly. I had a really great time. I paid $70 for it. I mean, if you went in at the beginning, sure, but if you want to wait for that price to come down, I definitely would say anywhere the 30 to 40 range for the PS5 edition definitely is worth your time. But that's going to do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned. This is about to hit the busy season. Pretty soon we're going to have some JoJo's All-Stars, baby. Come on. Let's hit that notification button, subscription button, so you can catch us in the wood. As usual, peace, be easy, be blessed.